Some of the things I like to do when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, obviously playing hockey at a professional level, it takes a toll on you sometimes, so I like to go home. I'm fortunate I have a little dog at home, so being able to spend some time with her and she normally knows when I'm feeling stressed.
Quand je me sens stressé, moi personnellement, j'essaie de trouver une façon d'aller peut-être faire de l'exercice. Souvent, ça va être aller dehors, prendre une marche ou peut-être aller courir. J'ai des enfants, jouer avec les enfants ou bien souvent juste trouver des petits jeux à faire, jouer aux cartes, des choses comme ça pour enlever le stress qui se passe avec moi.
So what I do when I'm stressed out, I try and do something to kind of distract my mind or take the thought away from what I'm focusing on at the moment, whether it's playing video games, sit on the couch, watch something on TV, just take a nap, maybe do some meditative thinking, anything to try and take your focus on the stuff that stresses you out.
Je suis un gars qui aime beaucoup se reposer, donc souvent je vais prendre du temps juste pour aller relaxer, écouter de la musique, beaucoup de musique, donc ça c'est une des choses. Puis comme je m'enseigne aussi à aller prendre des marches, prendre l'air dehors, c'est ce qui m'aide beaucoup.
It always helps for me to talk to, my parents, people that know you the best, family. They usually have a pretty good understanding of what you need to hear and what's going to help you going forward. Sometimes you just need to be with yourself as well. Take some time alone, get outside, get some fresh air. You usually just take a step back from the situation, analyze it, and it usually helps me get through it and deal with that stress.
I usually like to get away and sometimes go for a walk and try not to think about things too much, and in that aspect usually call a family member or a teammate or a friend and try to just have somebody to talk to.
I try and be open, communicate to my wife. She's a big support person for me in my life, and I just try my best not to carry that stress and try and bury it. I think the more you can get your stress out, the more you can deal with stuff right away so that it doesn't become overwhelming. I think the greater chance you have at overcoming the stress.
You want to be able to talk about those things and have somebody very important, whether it is a teammate or a family member or maybe a professional to sit down with and listen to what you have to say, and they can help you through those things.
Yeah, it just helps to get it out. Sometimes it's talking, sometimes you need to just scream. It helps relieve some stress. Sounds silly. The little techniques work for different people. You get rid of that frustration, that anger. If it's stress, sometimes it just helps to communicate. So there's different ways to relieve that. You just got to know what ticks and what works for you.
Some of the techniques that I use when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stressed, I like to go get massages every once in a while, or sometimes just sort of sitting around the house by myself, not being on my phone or watching TV, and just trying to relax and take some deep breaths and not really worry about too much of what's going on. Some of the advice that I can give or try to give to someone who's dealing with mental health is just talk to your friends and talk to your family, whether that's talking about the issues that's going on or just trying to get away and relax and do the fun things in life.
Je l'encouragerais vraiment à en parler, tout simplement. Je me mettrais disponible pour lui, de savoir que je suis là puis que c'est correct de pas aller si bien parfois, donc il faut juste en parler.
Obviously I would be there for them. I think that is so important these days, and I think mental health has come a long way in the last 5 to 10 years. If people are struggling, I think they do need somebody to just listen to and have that conversation with them and support them.
There's a lot of people that are still a little bit uncomfortable to come out and talk about it, and you want to make it as comfortable environment as possible. So make yourself available. Friends and family, you're never sure who's really going through it or what they're struggling with. So reach out when you can and make yourself available for, you never know when you can help someone.